A very good evening to everyone present here. Welcome to Ecoholics. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to this live session and live discussion about a very integral topic, a very integral component in itself, the NTA UGC NET Paper 1. Now, today we are going to talk and discuss about the very imperative nature of UGC NET Paper 1. Paper 1, of course, is a general paper, but today we are going to know why it is not so general, right? So, let us start discussing and let us start the interactive session. I hope that you are going to enjoy this session, and for all the viewers present over here, there is a very exciting news that I'm also going to announce. So stay hooked to this live discussion. Keep on all your queries. Keep on viewing the session and ask all the queries. I have my chat box opened, so do mention the queries regarding paper 1, and hopefully all those queries would definitely be solved. Yes, a very good evening to everyone present here. So uh, we all have gathered over here for a live discussion about why NTA UGC NET paper 1 is so remarkable. Now, there is, of course, a variety of students and a variety of people normally attempting UGC NET, who are many, plethora. Out of them, only few students crack UGC NET examination to become either assistant professor or assistant professor and a junior research fellow. Now, I understand that all you viewers are definitely aspiring to be the educator, to be a very esteemed scholar, a very esteemed educator in a very good university. However, UGC NET examination should not be your roadblock, and to make it not a roadblock but a success story, a major journey towards not just success but a lot of intelligence, a lot of intellect and wisdom, UGC NET paper 1 of course is going to help you. Now, of course, I believe that you would be puzzled, why am I focusing on paper 1, because core paper is paper 2, right? However, there is something that I should mention to you all. UGC NET paper 2 of course is the core paper, the paper that you have been studying all your graduation, all your post graduation. So probably 2 years minimum and maximum 5 years you have been studying that subject. However, a relatively major negligence towards this NET paper 1 would definitely change your lives and make a significant difference between whether you qualify the examination or whether you do not qualify the examination. Now, of course, you know that notification has been uploaded, people are spending their time filling the forms and everything is going on, preparation has started for UGC NET examination. However, do not forget that paper 1 is the one which is going to be the game changer, of course. Now, today let us discuss more about how paper 1 is going to be game changer, and also stay hooked to this video because I'm also going to announce some very exciting news to you all. Okay, so let me start with the discussion. Now, as I was mentioning, why paper 1 is such a game changer? Why is it so important and so relevant to study this paper? First of all, paper 1, as I stated, is not so general. Because you're going to be an educator in a very good university as an assistant professor, which has a major responsibility been given to that individual, or that designation, as I should say. Now, if you have that amount of responsibility as an assistant professor in a university, then definitely this particular paper 1 has a major role to play while you qualify your NET examination. look at this wide range of subjects. These are all the modules that you have. These are all the modules that you are going to study in paper 1. Now, normally people, when they think about aptitude, they do not focus on actually the aptitude that you have to inculcate in yourself. The aptitude towards this paper, which would definitely be when you are going to be on that side of the podium, on that side of the desk, once when you are going to be the educator, what is the aptitude that you are going to carry? So when you would be realizing that fact, or when you would be developing that aptitude, of course it is going to take time. Now, of course, I can totally understand that these 10 different concepts, modules, components are definitely very difficult to manage, and which is why we over here help you all to not just define or get information about the topic, but to inculcate that aptitude in you. What should be the perspective? Many a times we lose our perspective into finding what is the right answer, what is the wrong answer. Most of the students try to take out the printouts of the PYQs, the previous year questions. You would find, okay, this was the right answer, okay, that was the wrong answer. However, the perspective, why that question was given in the first place. Second, why that question did not have that answer which I had marked. Where did I go wrong? This is something that is going to be inculcated in you, of course, through Ecoholics. Now, of course, we are going to come to that point where I'm going to tell you about the exciting news, but let us move ahead with the next concept that we have, which is syllabus is the key. Now, syllabus, of course, becomes a major key to all your perceptions about what is going to come in the paper. Of course, you cannot predict the exact paper, but you can predict what are the weightage points, what are the focal points that are definitely going to tell you about how you can look at this examination and what should be your attitude towards the examination. Now, as I showed you the slide over here, which has all these remarkable topics. Some of them, of course, you might have studied, or some of them you might have maybe practiced in different examinations. However, as I said, that the aptitude for this examination is totally different. Now, because you're going to be selected as an assistant professor or an assistant professor and junior research fellow, the two very, very important, integral, significant points to be noted, to be jotted down in your brain are these two. Teaching aptitude, research aptitude. That is what you're going to do in the future once you crack the examination. So these are the two imperative skills that are never going to be out of question. They are never going to be not asked. They are always going to be present in various ways, whether it is about the assertion and reason type of questions, whether it is about match the following, right? Or is it about maybe direct questions? But most of the time, such questions that appear in teaching and research aptitude are those which are conceptual, which means once you need to understand the major concept. Teaching aptitude is vast, and of course it takes time to inculcate that teaching aptitude in you. For the very many years you have been a scholar, you must have been a sincere student, but to be a teacher, to think like an examiner, you have to develop something else. Of course, Ecoholics is definitely going to tell you how to develop that, and to also develop and inculcate that kind of aptitude towards this examination, the positive attitude towards this examination. So we always tell our students that it's not, of course, easy, it's not a cakewalk, but it's not impossible. right? It's always that hard work that is going to count on, and if you all always are on the right path that we suggest, we direct, you're always going to crack the examination very, very conveniently, right? So that is of course the highlight of this paper. Now second point that I would also like to bring about is practice. Now, of course, this is something that hardly only few students would do for paper 1. For paper 2, you're going to make notes, you're going to do a lot of things, you're going to fill registers, you're going to properly analyze each and every topic of each of the syllabus, you're going to make sub points, you're going to search books and everything for your own paper, for paper 2. Because why do you do that? The only psychology behind that is because it is relatively easier to find things which you know of. You associate with that paper because that is your own choice of paper. However, general paper no one associates with. However, the problem is that you fail to understand that it is only that paper which is going to test your skills of how you're going to teach, what is your mindset while teaching. Do you have that do you have that intellect to make relation building? Can you associate with students in a proper manner? Do you know the difference between communication, harsh communication, soft communication, communication, affirmation, as well as communication to negate something? All these concepts are going to be not tested in your paper 2 but only in paper 1, and of course this is where we help you all, and this is always that we always teach all the students to practice. Even if you do not know the whole topic, you must have not studied the whole topic, but do not fail to practice the MCQs, the test series, give those attempts many very times. Only then the perfection is going to arrive. Now, as the fourth and the very exciting point that I had in mind was that I had to announce a very interesting news to you all, for all the UGC NET aspirants, for all viewers, for all the subscribers, for everyone over here, that Ecoholics is going to soon have its another batch of UGC NET paper 1 course very soon, very soon, maybe within a week, which is definitely going to be a notification to you all. And for that batch we are going to provide a major discount of prices. So make sure that you log into our website www.ecoholics.in and also take a look at the description after this video ends. Okay, so this is what is the exciting news for you all, for all the aspirants, because we always would want that maximum of the students crack the examination and qualify for this very important job role of being an assistant professor. It's an esteemed job, of course. Now, the next point that I would also like to quickly associate with is research learning approach. Now, this is a part where maximum of the students fail to get association with. They do not belong there. Many of the students do not understand the terms. What is hypothesis? What is chi-squares, z-test, t-test? What are the various methods of sampling? These are all simple concepts that once you would understand, or once you would go through, definitely you would get a hint of what research learning approach is. Now, of course, when we teach our students, we always put focus on all of these 4 points. The very first one is types. Now, research learning approach has many types. You can read a book or the material that we have, you can read that, and of course you can get a hint of what research is all about. You can also make your small notes and everything. However, the most important part becomes how you're going to chronologically know about the process, how you're going to know about the process of research. Knowing the process of research is very, very important. Most of the time this question arrives, most of the time you're going to get this question, absolutely, at least you'll have one or two questions from this zone where you would be asked, what is the chronology of the research process? Does the hypothesis making comes first, or does the title making comes first, or does the introduction comes first? And they would give you such questions that, or they would give you such options that you would get definitely confused. There is your practice that is going to count. There you would have something known as your inquisitive aptitude, your inquiry aptitude, your nature of inquiry, that is going to count. Of course, that there is going to count the study material that we are going to provide, the kind of information and the kind of we can say education that is going to be provided. But of course, that is also your inquisitive aptitude. How much do you scrape off the surface and how much do you dig the ground to identify what exactly is required for learning the research? And of course, finally, we have the important terms. Now, like I said, that there are so many bizarre, absurd terms that many of the times many students have not even heard of. So it becomes a little difficult for them to capture the term, understand the definition, then the meaning, then fix it in your head. It becomes a major longer process. So to cut it short, there is a proper study that we focus on. There's a proper chronology, there's a proper syllabus, module based syllabus that we focus on, so that each and every concept is going to be interlinked and it is going to be taught to you all in a very simple manner, right? So this is something which is also a very highly required component of your paper 1, which is going to make things easier for you all. Now, finally, you have something that most of the students fail to understand, although there's so many students who appear for this examination, but only a few get qualified. Now, why is that? What is that point which you are missing? To identify that, we are going to start with a very simple concept, which is the number of questions that you attempt and what are the implications that you're going to get after you, let's say you qualify, or I would not say qualify, but if you have attempted, let's say, some of the questions and those questions are correct, okay, those many questions, let's say, are correct, then what are going to be the implications of such a scenario? Now, you have how many questions in this paper? You have 50 questions, okay, and 100 marks paper, which means every question carries 2 marks, okay. No negative marking, makes your life even more easier. Now, how to score? Uh, like jumping from one question to other, like from reading comprehension, many times what happens that you are so much um, focused on qualifying paper 2 that you forget that there's a paper 1 which has reading comprehension also, which is a long article that you have to scroll up and down and up and down, and then only one you'll have to you'll provide some correct answers to that question. You also have DI to solve, you also have logical reasoning and mathematical reasoning to solve. Apart from the easier topics, these are also some of the topics that you have to solve. Many of times you also forget that there are current affairs also sometimes that they might be asked. So all of these would basically contain the 50 questions that you are going to attempt. Now, how do you plan to attempt the questions is going to solve major of your problems. Many a times people who students who have attempted and cleared, or got a good score and have cleared maybe um, a, a score of more than 120 marks, okay, um, fail to score well in the paper 1. most of the students, and this is an observation, that most of the students who would get more than 100 marks, more than 120 marks in your paper 2, which means most of a good attempt to on paper 2, and not over 25% of the attempt would be given to paper 1, which means only 25 to 30 questions would be solved. Most of the like 70% of the students who do not qualify the examination only appear or only attempt correctly 23 to 25 questions, which is a very very poor figure to attempt the questions for paper 1. Now you think, this is you on the ball is in your court. What do you think? Paper 1, which is such a general paper as everyone thinks of, you can't qualify or you can't attempt even 25 to 30 questions? Why? What is happening? Now the same thing, the same gap that has been created can be totally eradicated, totally it can be filled by analyzing the paper 1 and correctly attempting it, planning paper 1, how to attempt it, how you're going to go about it, learning all the things that are focal points, something like teaching aptitude, research aptitude, that we always focus upon while in our classes. Maximum classes distributed for teaching aptitude and research aptitude, just because the content should be not just given out or imparted to the students, but there has to be an inculcation of that aptitude of teaching and research in them. Only then, once you start thinking like an examiner, once you start thinking like an assistant professor, there you are going to come in this range. Once you get in this range, again, if you do not score good in paper 2, there are hard chances by scoring by attempting such 35 to 40 questions in your paper 1, still may give you a hard time, still may give you a percentile which is going to be on a borderline. So to crack not just assistant professorship, but for cracking also JRF, for also attaining junior research fellowship, because you should aim at that. So for that, definitely 40 plus questions correctly have to be attempted, and definitely this is what is going to be taught in the upcoming batch. And it's very very important for you all to not just get inculcated the aptitude in you, but also get the right information at the right time, because this is the right time. If now, then when? That is the scenario for UGC NET examination. Notification is already out, so I believe that you all must now start prepping, pull up your socks and start preparing well for this paper, because this is not so general paper after all, right? And finally, to conclude today, I'm just going to conclude with this beautiful quote given by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. You, my dear students, the aspirants of UGC NET examination, aspirants who are going to become assistant professors, educators in universities, highest and esteemed profession in education, you would use education in the most powerful way. So before using that weapon, you must plan how you're going to take that weapon, how that weapon is going to come to you, how that weapon is going to be gifted to you, right? And which is why do attempt this examination with a positive heart, with the most positive aptitude, and log on to our website for all various courses that we have. Specifically, we are going to now focus on UGC NET examination. The paper 2 economics course is already on, and now paper 1 UGC NET paper 1 course is also going to be launched very soon in the next week. So keep your eyes and ears open, be alert, and do subscribe our channel, and also do watch all the other videos that we have made for your better knowledge, for your better information, and for your better future. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for coming and interacting today in this discussion. I hope that the discussion was fruitful. The only time that you have is now. So do focus on UGC NET examination with a very positive heart for any type of queries that you would want to ask. After the discussion ends, you would get phone numbers on your screen, so you can always call on those numbers, message on those numbers, log on to the email ID and mail us about your queries, about your inquiry about the course. Everything is going to be with clarity given out to you all. So thank you so much. Have a very great evening ahead. Bye bye. Take care of yourselves. All the best for this examination.